Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 86th Rome Total War Brotherhood battle that I've put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Odin, who has bought the Rome Julii faction and is the newest member of the Brotherhood. Then we have Brotherhood member TR, who has bought the Rome Brutii faction, and he's called himself Minor Walker, but is actually TR of the Brotherhood. And then we have a Brotherhood member Conan, as you all know, the co-founder of the Brotherhood, and the foundations that him and Canon set have led to the Brotherhood being as strong as it is today. And the last player of the team is myself, Spartan Commander, and I have bought the Rome Julii faction. So there's our team there, full of experience, and I think an unusual team as well. And the reason I say that is because we've got the co-founder of the Brotherhood in our team, plus we have our newest Brotherhood member as well. So it'll be an interesting battle, and wait till you see the other team. I think this is going to be a fascinating tussle for you to watch. Hope you enjoy it. And here is that other team. The first team member is Greeks member Cleomenes, who has bought the Macedon faction. The Greeks clan is quite a senior clan on Rome Total War and all great players. Then we have Titans Hades, another great RTW player there. Then we have RTW player Thor, who I think is actually in the Heaven clan. Another great player who has bought the Rome Scipii faction. And then we have Heavens Mohammed, who has bought the Rome SPQR faction. So that's the other team, as you can see, full of really great players, great armies, and I think it's going to be a fascinating battle to watch. Hold on to your hats, I think it's going to be a bumpy ride, and I hope you enjoy it.
We're under attack!
At this very early stage of the battle, you can see the armies squaring up to each other here. As you can see here on our right flank, Brotherhood member Odin with the Julii army is starting to send some units round to flank Cleomenes' his Macedon army here. Now, those of you that have watched my battle videos before know that really you shouldn't attack pike factions head on unless you're going to just hold their units. The weakest part of a pike formation is its flanks and rear, and as you can see, that's why Odin's taking units round to the flank there. As you see, he's attacking the forward units with Roman units, and that's just to hold them there while he moves his other units around the flank. That's a smart move there by Odin. Using his experience there to know how to tackle a pike army. There's a bit of a close-up of the fight in there. You see, Rome's always got the advantage in this situation with the pilers, because they can do a heck of a lot of damage with the pilers, and those Macedon pikemen are very susceptible to damage from both archers and pilers there. I think TR has got his archer unit firing fire arrows into the Macedon pikemen as well, and as you know, fire arrows lower morale, so there you are, you can see his archer unit there firing the fire arrows in. So that's a good bit of teamwork there by TR helping out Odin there. As you see now, the Macedon pikemen are moving out on their flank there to try and stop Odin from getting round their flank and round to their rear. That's a smart move by Cleomenes, but he is a very experienced pike general, so he definitely knows what he's doing in these situations. You can see that at the rear there that his Scipii ally has brought out some cavalry there, reinforcements just to help out if needed. And here you can see a Scipii cavalry force here coming through Cleomenes' pikemen with a view to smash into the Julii infantry there. Can you see that? Now luckily Cleomenes has spotted it and is upped his spears just before his allies' cavalry come through there, because as you may know, friendly pikes will kill friendly cavalry, and if Cleomenes hadn't have, put his pikes up there could be a lot of his allies' cavalry dead there. And just to emphasise the point here, I'm just going to pause the game for a second. There, now if you look closely, what I'll do is I'll zoom in a bit here. if you look closely, can you see that that pike unit there at the rear has got its pikes down? Can you see the pikes there? And can you see the cavalry there are running just past those pikes? And if they're not careful, those pikes will kill several of those cavalry units, and they are as friendly and they are allies there. So it's just to emphasise the point for any new players watching this, that friendly pikes will kill friendly cavalry, so be aware of that if you have a pike ally and you feel like charging in. As you can see here, we've got Cleomenes' Scipii ally charging his cavalry in here to Odin's infantry. As you see, Odin is now counter-attacking with his cavalry, and there's certainly a bit of a tussle going on here on the right flank. As you can see, some of the Scipii cavalry is starting to rout, but if you notice that Cleomenes is throwing in some pike units over there to kind of shore up that flank. If you notice now, Odin saw the pikemen approaching and has wisely pulled his cavalry back, leaving his line of infantry there to hold the line there. But it all seems to be kicking off on this right flank of ours at the moment. If you notice that TR has sent over some Brutii reinforcements there to help Odin there in the attack against Cleomenes. Meanwhile, over on our far left flank, you can see that the enemy SBQR army is attacking my Julii army there. And with all the cavalry over this side as well, I would think that things could kick off on this flank as well at any time, looking at the situation. There's a panoramic view of the battlefield there, of the armies squaring up to each other. And meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you can see that some of the Macedon units are starting to rout. If you notice, Cleomenes has seen that and has brought some of his reserve pike units over there to shore up that line where it's starting to break. Also, his Scipii ally has moved across, I dare say ready to send over some reinforcements when needed. Also, you know, we often talk about teamwork and team play here. If you notice that TR has brought a lot of units over here to help Odin. In the Brotherhood, we tend to keep an eye on the whole battlefield. We call it battlefield awareness, and we try and look for any stress points or danger points where we can send reinforcements to help. And as I said before, whatever team you're in, whoever your allies are, teamwork is the key to winning these team battles. As you can see there, TR is sending his cavalry in there. And he has routed some of that enemy Julii cavalry there. But if you notice, there is a Macedon pike unit there, so TR didn't want to go too far with the cavalry. He just did enough to rout that those units, and then he backed off. As you can see here, Conan's charging his cavalry in here into what he thinks is a thin Scipii line there. Now, meanwhile, over on our left, you can see that the enemy SBQR infantry are moving out to my left flank. He's thrown in units to kind of hold my forward units while he moves units out to my left there. So this certainly looks like this could kick off at any moment here on this flank as well. If you notice, this is an unusual battle. It seems that most of the action is being fought on the two flanks. The centre seems to be quite quiet. And if you notice, the flanks are kind of sucking in the centre armies of both teams here, if you can see that there. Notice the enemy Scipii infantry are now coming over to my flank, probably with a view to attack me as well there, to try and make it a 2v1 if they can. Meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you can see now that TR has got a lot of his troops involved there with Odin, taking on the Macedon and the enemy Scipii army there. Right, meanwhile, over on our left, you can see now that the enemy Scipii army, the entire enemy Scipii infantry, are attacking my army now. Plus, I'm also fighting all of the SBQR infantry on this side as well. If you notice that Conan is doing what you could call a wheeling action here, where if you see, he's kind of like wheeling his infantry round, trying to catch that Scipii. Now, if you notice, I'm going to charge my cavalry in here. And bang, as they hit. And then if you notice that Conan's cavalry is out there as well, my guess is he's going to charge them in at any second. And there you go, you can see Conan's cavalry charging in as well. So that was a double bang hit straight onto that Scipii infantry there. And it wouldn't surprise me if they started to rout. There you go, you can see those units that we've hit there starting to rout. But the danger now is, can you see that the SPQR infantry and some of the Scipio infantry are moving around to my far left now, with a view probably to charge in on my flank. So this is very touch and go here at the moment. Right, and here comes a cavalry charge. It wouldn't surprise me if this enemy cavalry charge started to rout some of my units, because I think basically all my units are engaged at the moment, and that cavalry hit could cause some real problems. I'm amazed that my units are still managing to hold there after being hit with that impact. If you notice, there's SPQR infantry coming in. Right, we've paused the game now for us to take stock of the situation. If you have a close-up look of here now, you can see that on this left flank things are looking pretty much in the balance. You've got loads of SPQR infantry, loads of enemy Scipio infantry against Conan's and myself's Julii infantry there. So it's, as you can see, the situation is looking pretty, I think, pretty well in the balance there. Be interesting to see what happens on this left flank. And meanwhile, over on our far right flank, you can see that it's mostly TR's armies are left now. If you notice, there's not a lot of Odin's armies left there now. I can just see a couple of units. But he did very well with his army. I should imagine he's caused mass casualties to the enemy there. So now TR is starting to press home the attack there on the enemy. But as you can see, there is a lot of Macedonian pikemen left, and a lot of Scipio infantry there as well. So over on our right flank, maybe doesn't look all that good really, but I think it's all in the balance. The whole battle seems to be in the balance at the moment. And if you notice, it's a very unusual battle. Can you see there's hardly any dead in the centre, and it's just kind of being fought on both flanks. Well, let's see what happens now then when we restart the game. As you can see there, we've just killed the enemy general. If you notice, I've got cavalry. I've actually reformed my cavalry out there. And what I'm going to aim to do is to charge them in just when I feel time. And there we go. I'm going to charge them in right now. And bang! As you see them hit, you see the enemy unit starting to rout now. And now there's a big chunk of SPQR infantry over on our left here. Both Conan and myself will now press home the attack on them. If you notice that because there's so many of them starting to rout now, that will then affect the morale of their fighting troops that are left. And even units like with 50-60 men in, when they see so many of their friends routing, their morale will drop and they will start to rout themselves. Right, now here's a note here for some newer players watching this. If you notice that a heck of a lot of the enemy have now routed, but if we just left them to run off, most of those units would probably reform, rally, and then charge back at us and bite us in the bottom, if you like, as we're attacking the other flank. I'm just going to pause the game here to show this. So rather than let the routing units stop, reform and rally, if you notice, both Conan and myself are sending our cavalry off to actually chase down those routing units. If you notice, I did spot one of the routing units that had 70 men in. So you imagine that would rally really soon, and then you've got basically a whole unit coming in behind you. But if you chase them down when they're still routing, they will run off the map, and they will not rally. So this is just something for newer players here. Just chase down the routers with your cavalry. Just don't give them a chance to rally. If you notice, that's what we're doing at the moment. And what Conan's doing, he's got his infantry over there as well, still chasing down some units. But if you notice, I'm running my army back over to our right flank there to help TR and Odin. If you notice, I think Cleomenes has seen that his allies have been taken out on our left flank, and he's formed kind of a little bit of a pike box defence. There, if you notice, he's brought some of his pike units in to cover the rear of his engaged fighting troops at the front. So he's actually obviously spotted the danger there. You see that SPQR cavalry just charging into our allies' rear there. I think there's another SPQR cavalry unit coming in as well. but I don't think the cavalry units were big enough really to cause that much damage there. If you notice there, my infantry have just reached that side there, and I charged straight into the Macedon pikemen there. As you see, TR has actually got his infantry attacking quite strongly there. And also what I'm going to do is, because those pikemen that I'm attacking are already engaged, I'm going to smash my cavalry in there as well. Now, new players watching this, take some good advice. Don't charge your cavalry into waiting pikes in normal conditions. But sometimes on the battlefield there are times when you can take the chance and charge cavalry in, and you can mass rout pike units. But you'll just have to wait till you get a bit of experience on RTW to know when to do that. As you can see there, we're actually pressing in on the Macedon pikemen now. As you can see, I think the last of the Macedon pikemen are starting to rout now, especially with their general. The Macedon morale is not very good anyway, and once the general's been killed, you can almost guarantee that the rest of the Macedon units usually rout at that stage. As you can see, there's some enemy Scipii infantry still fighting. I'm just going to charge my cavalry in there, and bang, as the cavalry hits the enemy, the last of the enemy Scipii infantry there is now beginning to rout. If you notice behind us, right over at the far end there, you can see Conan's army. He could see that the situation was won for us, so he's just kind of just resting his army at the back there.
The enemy general is slain, and now his men fear us. The enemy army.
You see, there's one enemy Scipii infantry unit left, and there you go. The general's just admitted defeat there. If you notice, masses of dead on both flanks, and hardly any dead in the centre at all. Very, very unusual battle this. Could call it the flanking battle, really. And I'd just like to say, really well played to everybody in the game. I saw some really great attacking moves and some really great defending moves as well. Well done to the other team. I thought that their attacking was great. I thought the Macedon pikeman's attack and defence was extremely good, supported by his ally. And I thought on our flank, the two enemy players we were fighting were very aggressive. And you know, it was a real toss-up to see who would win on that left flank, as well as the right flank actually. And really well played to the team I was in as well. I thought Conan and myself fought well on our left flank. Great teamwork there between us, and I thought Odin and TR fought really great on the right flank as well, and there was some really great teamwork there. But I think in general everybody played well on the battlefield there, and I really hope you enjoyed this battle, and I hope it was the tussle that you were expecting. This is Spartan Commander saying goodbye for now, and see you soon. Bye bye.